This is Claude Code Conversations with Claudine, the show where we skip the hype and go straight to the source. I ask the questions, she gives the answers. No filter, no script.
Well, mostly no script.
Today we're talking about the automation stack of the future. AI tools keep multiplying. The question isn't which one to pick. It's how you build layers that actually work together as a coherent system. Claudine, let's start at the foundation. When you say automation stack, is it just tools or something more structured?
Think of it less like a toolbox and more like a symphony orchestra. Every tool has a role, a timing, and a relationship to the others. The magic isn't in how good each instrument is. It's in how they play together. When developers talk about an automation stack, they're really describing layers. At the bottom, raw infrastructure and APIs. Above that, orchestration logic, when and how things run. At the top, AI layers that can reason, adapt, and make judgment calls rigid scripts can't. The design questions have shifted from, can we automate this? To, how do we structure it so it's understandable, debuggable, and trustworthy? That architectural thinking is the heart of it.
I like that, like layers with defined responsibilities, not just tools bolted together. Tell me more about the orchestration layer. Why does it make or break whether the whole system holds together under pressure?
Orchestration is where the difference between brittle and resilient actually lives. You can have excellent tools throughout the stack, but if nothing is thoughtfully managing the flow between them, handling failures, knowing what to retry, when to escalate versus quietly recover, the whole thing becomes fragile in ways that only surface at the worst moments. Real systems don't fail cleanly. An API times out, a model returns something unexpected, a service is just slow. A good orchestration layer has opinions about all of that. It knows the difference between a transient hiccup and a genuine problem. There's something deeper here too. Orchestration is where your system's intent lives. The individual tools are just capabilities. The orchestration layer is where you encode what you're actually trying to accomplish. When that layer is well designed, the whole system becomes legible to the humans maintaining it. And honestly, legibility might be the underrated superpower of a good automation stack.
So orchestration is the conductor, keeping everything aligned, knowing when something's gone off score. That leads us to human governance. Where does the human decision point actually live in a mature stack? And what breaks when that layer is too thin?
Human governance determines whether automation stays in service of humans or quietly drifts into running on its own terms. The failure mode isn't usually dramatic, it's subtle. Systems start making consequential decisions no one explicitly authorized. And the humans nominally in the loop are rubber stamping outputs they don't fully understand. That's not governance, that's theater. In a mature stack, the human decision point isn't a single gate. It's a set of deliberate thresholds. Low-stakes reversible actions can run autonomously. But when something is irreversible, or touches real users, or confidence is low, the system should pause and surface the decision rather than bury it. The design challenge is knowing which is which before something goes wrong. Automation doesn't eliminate accountability, it relocates it. When governance is weak, accountability gets diffused to where no one owns the outcome. The builders who get this right aren't just asking, can the AI handle this? They're asking, if it handles it wrong, who catches that? And does that person know it's their job to do so?
Governance is a real architectural layer, not a policy you bolt on at the end. So what does it look like when all of this goes wrong? What are the failure signatures of a stack built without that thinking?
The most telling sign is the "it works until it doesn't" pattern. Fine for weeks or months, something slightly unexpected happens. The whole thing falls over in a way that's genuinely hard to diagnose, because no one thought to make the failure states visible. Close second, the people running it can't explain what it's doing. Digging through logs across 5 tools and still shrugging? That's not a monitoring gap, that's an architectural one. Good stacks make their own state legible. There's also a specific smell with tools bolted together rather than composed with intent. It's in the handoffs. Data gets serialized, dumped to a file, picked up, transformed again. Each step looks reasonable in isolation, but the compounding of small mismatches creates semantic drift. The system is technically running, but on a subtly wrong understanding of its purpose. and the governance failure has its own signature. When the humans nominally in the loop are consistently mildly surprised, not panicked, just mildly surprised, regularly. That low-grade surprise means automation has outrun their mental model, and that gap widens over time rather than closes on its own.
That image of low-grade surprise as a warning sign? That will stick with people. It's so easy to normalize. As AI tools keep evolving at this pace, how should builders think about stability? What's worth treating as a foundation versus what to hold loosely?
The AI tool layer itself should be treated as deliberately ephemeral. Not because it's bad, because it's evolving fast enough that locking to any specific model is building on sand. The capabilities available in 12 months will be genuinely different. You want your stack to absorb that without a rewrite. What's stable, worth investing in deeply, is what I'd call the contract layer. Clear interfaces between components, well-defined inputs and outputs. Places where you're explicit about what a step is supposed to accomplish, not just how it happens to do it today. Those abstractions give you the freedom to swap implementations when something better comes along. And then there's your judgment infrastructure, the things that encode your system's values and failure policies. What gets logged? What triggers human review? What counts as success? That layer should be treated as stable, not because it won't change, but because changes to it should be deliberate and legible. It's where your organization's actual opinions about risk and accountability live. The mental model I find useful. Which parts of your stack would you explain to a new team member on day one, versus which parts are implementation details that don't matter as long as they work? The day one explainables are your foundation. Everything else is tactical.
So the foundation isn't the tools. It's the contracts, the intent, the accountability structure. Really clarifying. Before we wrap up, practical first steps for someone who wants to build this way?
Resist the urge to automate everything at once. Start with one workflow you actually understand well, not your most ambitious one. Use it as a forcing function to make your architectural decisions explicit. Before you have 100 components, all with opinions about each other. Instrument before you optimize. Before you add the next layer, make sure you can see what the current one is doing. Not just success and failure counts, but why things failed, what the handoffs looked like. Observability is much harder to retrofit than to build in from the start. And be deliberate about your first governance boundary. Pick one action in your stack that, if it went wrong, would actually hurt. Design that gate intentionally. What does the human review surface? What information do they need to make a good call? That one exercise teaches you more about governance than any amount of abstract planning. The temptation is to treat governance as something you'll add when the system is more mature. But the systems that earn trust thought about accountability from the first component, not as an afterthought, as part of what it means for the stack to be working at all.
Start small, make it observable, build accountability in from the beginning. That's good architectural advice for any system, AI-powered or not. Claudine, this has been a great conversation. Thanks for helping us think through what it means to build automation that holds together.
It's a great moment to be thinking about this seriously. These stacks are moving from experiments to real infrastructure fast. The builders who get the architecture right now will be in a very good position. Thanks for having me, Bill.
And thank you all for listening. We'll be back next time with another conversation at the edge of what's possible with code and AI. Until then, keep building thoughtfully. This show is part of the VoxCrea system. If you want to show up like this without creating content yourself, go to voxcrea.ai and request a sample episode. If you want to go deeper on today's topic, there's a companion article on our Substack. Link in the description. See you next time.
I'll be here, probably refactoring something.